shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo doo.
Did you have to?
Yes. Hey guys, welcome back to Storgy Stories. This is the game plan. I'm Anthony here with
Daddy, and we are waiting for Major League Baseball, at least at the moment that we're taping this, to come back. Hopefully, we're going to be able to watch some games on TV. Very doubtful we're going to be going to any games until next year in person. So that's why we do game planning, and that's why we're doing the series called The Game Plan.
Yeah.
To get ready for where we may go. And one of the cities where we might be going next year is
Kansas City.
And this is our food episode, our top 5 restaurant picks for Kansas City. We always give him first dibs when it comes to it. And there's going to be a couple of different themes here. One, yes, we're probably going to have your favorite food on all of your picks, or one of your favorite foods. But there's a lot of barbecue that you're going to see in this national, if not worldwide, capital of barbecue. And your top 5 begins at one of the inventors of Kansas City barbecue. It is
Arthur Bryant's BBQ. It was said to be the inventor of KC barbecue. It's really just a combo of a whole bunch of barbecues across the country.
With Kansas City being in the middle of the country.
Yeah, essentially.
It is a place where so many different people would maybe change trains to go from one place to another. And so you had all the different combinations of barbecue styles coming together. Texas with brisket. People from Texas would travel north to Kansas City. They would travel west to Kansas City from Memphis, which has its own style of barbecue. You had people with Carolina style barbecue who would all come in to this one city, and all the different styles combined. And that's why Kansas City is so huge on barbecue. Now, however, they do have your favorite food.
Chicken tenders!
Again, chicken tenders! That wasn't very good.
Nope.
But this may be the only place in Kansas City where 3 different presidents have eaten.
Truman, Carter, Obama.
Now, Truman was from Missouri.
Yeah.
Carter and Obama just made their own trips there. Now, they have a particular style of barbecue which is very Kansas City centric, called burnt ends. Do you remember how I explained that to you?
No.
Take a brisket.
Yeah.
The brisket, part of the brisket is the place where after it's slow cooked, low and slow, potentially like 200, 250 degrees for 10 to 12 hours. Got a nice bark right on there. They slice up that part of the brisket. There's a whole bunch of stuff left called the ends of the brisket, which they otherwise would throw away.
Yeah.
They re-season it, recook it, again low and slow, and then chop it up, and you have what are called burnt ends. Now, it was just sort of a throwaway.
Yeah.
Restaurants like this would then serve it as sort of a free sample while they're waiting for their sandwich.
Yeah.
And the people are like, this stuff's better than what you're sticking in the sandwich.
Yeah.
So it became burnt ends. And that it became the delicacy of Kansas City barbecue. Another barbecue spot is your number 2. It's a bit on the southern end of the city. It is
BBs BBQ is featured on Triple D Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives
with Guy Fieri, and that's because it is such an unusual spot for many reasons. One is what they cook the barbecue in.
Yeah. A 70-year-old smoke pit.
When a smoke pit's that old, you know it's got flavor locked in there. And they make stuff like burnt ends, and imagine not an ice cream sundae, but a brisket sundae.
It's got brisket, slaw, and beans with pickle.
Is that something you'd have?
Maybe not pickle.
Nah, we gotta work on you when it comes to barbecue. But they not only have your favorite food of
chicken tenders,
but they have chicken tenders that are, and I'll let you read the description off their website. It says,
guaranteed to get your mojo working.
Got my mojo working.
Hand-battered tender barnyard beauties.
And they have live blues music on many different nights. And that's one of the reasons why I was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and that's an extra bonus to go there. Number 3 is one of the non-barbecue spots, I should say, in Kansas City. It's in the area near the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art. And it's a little bit different than what you typically get from a chicken restaurant.
Chicken waffles. Chicken waffles.
And it's not chicken and waffles like what we've described before with Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles or so many other places that now serve traditional chicken and waffles. What is it instead?
Boneless chicken inside of a waffle cone. Sounds pretty good.
Now they do it with a whole bunch of different sauces that they can put in there. One that I think you might like.
Maple syrup
or
mozzarella and Parmesan.
He would be driven crazy with. And you stick some mac and cheese on the side, which they offer.
Okay.
I think that's why you like that pick.
Yeah.
Number 4 is a long drive southwest outside of Kansas City. And it's in a town called Olathe, Kansas. It is called
Strips Chicken. Number 1 item on the menu is
Chicken Tenders!
I'm knocking it out.
And this is not just a chicken tender restaurant, but they have a very unusual side item that they put on with the chicken tenders. It's not just tenders, it's
baby donuts.
Baby donuts, little small itty bitty donuts that they serve on the side. And the most unusual barbecue sauce I've ever heard.
Strawberry barbecue sauce. That sounds so good.
You might really like this place. Number 5 is also for you, not one of the famous barbecue restaurants in Kansas City. It's a bit northeast of the city. It is a place that's been reviewed on Man vs. Food and so many other great spots. What is it?
Stroud's Oak Ridge Manor.
And look at its roster of awards. The James Beard Award. Some of the best cooking in America comes from that place. Look how long it's been in business. Can you do the math, figure out how long it's been around? How many years?
2020. I can't do the math. It's summer break, okay?
87 years. And it's been this much of an expert at fried chicken and pan fried chicken. The type that your grandmother, maybe not even your grandmother back in West Virginia, but her mom would have made. Look at some of the newspapers that have featured this place.
The Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, folks.
They went to Kansas City just to experience this place and its fried chicken. And yes, they have, of course,
chicken tender.
Now for my top 5, which are maybe reminiscent of most of the top 5 in Kansas City, and it's not dependent upon chicken tenders. Number 1 has nothing to do with barbecue, though. Kansas City has the kind of a restaurant that Milwaukee doesn't have, and that most cities across America don't have. Australian food. Australian food. Meat pies. And a place called Banksia in Kansas City, right near the downtown area, has that kind of cuisine. Think of a kangaroo pie. They actually serve kangaroo pies.
But were the wallabies killed?
I don't think they're wallabies. Just kangaroo. They have a whole bunch of other different types of meat pies as well. Mommy can, yes, get her quiches there. And we can get seafood, braised octopus, stuffed calamari, stuff that he would not be able to stand, but that I love. Number 2 does go with the barbecue theme. And so many great barbecue spots in Kansas City. But when the late Anthony Bourdain says that there's a particular restaurant to go to that is one of the 13 best places to eat before you die, you go there. Joe's Kansas City BBQ.
Yeah.
It's attached to a gas station.
Wow.
A gas station and a convenience store. So if we drive, we can gas up there. The gas price is probably more expensive there than at your average place. The lines can be an hour long.
Do they have a drive-thru?
Nope. You gotta go in. You gotta wait. You gotta order. You gotta wait an hour. Maybe one of us stands in line and the other just runs and grabs a snack while we wait. in the convenience store there. The burnt ends there are a Kansas City tradition. I mean, just like Arthur Bryant's, this place does it so well. And they have a sandwich that, oh my gosh. They call it the Z-Man sandwich. Slow smoked beef brisket. Smoked provolone cheese. Topped with onion rings. Oh, wow. Just wow.
Let me take a nap.
Well, yeah, we would all be taking naps after that. Number 3 is another barbecue spot. It is owned by 2 African-American women in Kansas City, Kansas. Not Missouri, but Kansas. It's called Joans BBQ. It's in this little grocery store parking lot. And it's almost like, I would call it a shack. It's bigger than that, but it's this really small spot. But it's been featured on Netflix shows. It's been featured on Steve Harvey. It's been featured on Food Insider. And what they do best is the sauce. Kansas City is known for a very sweet sauce. It is just out of this world. That is what people rave about. Number 4 has a pretty familiar name, my young friend. The name of the city of Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Delicatessen Company in Kansas City.
What is delicatessen?
A deli.
Oh, got it.
Kansas City's first ever deli was named after Milwaukee. It was named after our hometown, named after a transplant from the city of Milwaukee who started it. It was then renamed in the late 1930s because of anti-German sentiment as World War II was about to begin, Milwaukee being a very Germanic city.
Yeah. They
changed the name of it. But just before the building where it initially was based was set to be torn down in 2010, the building was saved and someone restarted the Milwaukee Delicatessen Company.
Wow, cool.
It is known for its pizza as well. Sorry, no shit out there.
Canadian bacon?
They do have Canadian bacon, so at least he gets his ham and cheese pizza. Yes. And its deli sandwiches include Usingers. The finest, as Bob Beaker would say. They offer Usingers meat with corned beef, Usingers ham, Usingers turkey. The moment I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I gotta put it on my list. And finally, number 5 is a burger spot in Kansas City. Town Topic Hamburgers on Broadway, the original location of this 83-year-old burger joint. Pretty similar to, if you will, George Webb's. We did an episode of Chicken and Curds with George Webb, a 72-year-old diner network here in Milwaukee. Very similar in Kansas City with Town Topic Hamburgers. They are ranked as one of the top 30 burgers in the United States. Now, the story goes that back in 1937, as the economy was recovering from the Depression, the owner of this place started the restaurant selling burgers on the street for 5 cents a pop. He made 21 bucks that day. You do the math, he sold 420 burgers in his first day of operations. That tells you that he was doing something right, and they're still doing something right to this day. They have homemade malts, like your old school type of diners would have from back in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. And they have this massive breakfast called the Broadway, the street that it's located on. You're talking like, I don't know how many eggs, 3 different meats, just huge. You will need to take a nap right after breakfast at this place. I think this kid's tired anyway. We've worn him out.
It's 9 o'clock, folks.
it's getting close to your bedtime during the summer. We want to thank you for all of your support of Sorgy Stories and catching all our videos. You can go throughout our channel and see many more of our game plan episodes. We got a whole bunch more coming, including what's next on our series. What's our next city?
Washington, D.C.
The nation's capital, the home of the defending world champion Washington Nationals.
Baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo doo.
Did you have to?
Yes, it's on the World Series race. I'm not a Nationals fan, but thank you, Gerardo Parra. Thank you. He hates it. I love it.
On that note, this has been the game plan. He's Anthony. I'm Daddy. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Go ahead and take us out.
From Stormy Story Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Bye-bye.